Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lions Den with another news and commentary. This is the review of Colin Kaepernick's Black and White series. Um, and let me say this, and I know a lot of people gonna have ill feelings towards um, this video about Colin Kaepernick and what happened when he took a knee for the protest, and then there's been some divided peoples ever since. So this video is not for the people that want to say negative things about Colin Kaepernick at all. So I just want to make sure that before I start this, review, this commentary on the series, that this isn't about what Colin Kaepernick did when he took a knee, you know, 3 years ago. Now, with that being said, this I saw the series last night. I saw the entire series last night, and it's very interesting that when you have a biracial person like him, who's been adopted by a white family, it's basically no matter what, you're gonna get judged regardless. So, what he's trying to do, and I know a lot of people gonna have, like I said, I know a lot of people gonna have these ill feelings towards him. Colin Kaepernick, he's not a good quarterback. He's basically washed up. He's been kicked out of the league. Nobody wants him. Blah 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 blah. But his childhood will change everybody's mind with the quickness, because that's what he's telling his story on. On and this. I mean, for those of you that want to see it, you can go ahead and see. Kaepernick's or Colin's Black and White. That's what it's called on Netflix. You can go ahead and check it out. And I believe at least this episodes, or at least 6 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's six episodes. But it tells a story of when he was growing up as a child, been raised by an adopted white family. So what happened was is that he's telling the story of, and even though he goes to a predominantly white schools, living in a predominantly white town, he's playing multiple sports. He played baseball, basketball, and football. But even with that, I mean, he's just showing his talent growing up, and his passion was always about football, nothing else. But the story that I was trying to do is just review on, and if you don't want to hear the spoiler, I suggest, and you want to watch, the entire series on Netflix, then you don't have to watch this video. You can go ahead and watch it and then come back. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead with this review and the spoiler. It first started out, Colin Kaepernick was, I believe he was a teenager. And he's telling his story about his childhood. Now, remember, he's all athletic. He's a sports athlete, period. He played not only football, he played basketball, and he played baseball. Now, growing up in uh, a white family, he's been adopted by a white family. He's been through things. And when I saw the series yesterday, I saw every episode. So when I saw the series yesterday, it makes you wonder. And a lot of people gonna say, well, Colin Kaepernick, he grew up with a white family. He doesn't know how it is to be black. I'm gonna stop you right there. When I saw the series of Colin's Black and White, I saw a Colin Kaepernick that I'd never seen before, right? And everybody wants everybody wants Colin Kaepernick to be something that Colin Kaepernick don't want to be. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, Colin Kaepernick always want to play football. Even though he played three sports, he always want to play football. And he's telling his story that no matter what he does, and they always going to judge him as black, or they're calling him. I mean, even here's what trips me out about this. Growing up, he always have long hair like he does right now. He has an afro, as you can see it. But when he was growing up, His favorite player was Allen Iverson. He wants to be like Allen Iverson. You know, he want to dress like Allen Iverson. He want to have cornrows like him. And as a white adopted mother, she really doesn't know. I think the actress who played Colin Kaepernick's adopted mother was actress Mary Louise Parker. So anyway, she basically didn't know how to raise her son because her son is biracial, and he fantasized the hip hop culture. He fantasized the black culture more, and so he always wearing cornrows. I think in the beginning of the series, that this he went to this black woman's house, and then she does his hair doing cornrows, and both the mother and the father feel some type of way with that because they don't really understand the culture. They don't understand and they forgot about him being biracial, which he has half black. So he's been a fanatic of Allen Iverson since day one. As you know, he was a Packer fan growing up and everything else. And so, he wore the style for a while and it itches him. So, but then the mother didn't understand why he likes the cornrows and why he likes the style that he is. And remember back in those days, you know, the hip hop, Allen Iverson did not want to be a Michael Jordan, did not want to be a Magic Johnson. He wants to be Allen Iverson. He want to be himself. So during the series, you know, he didn't understand. The mother who played by Mary Louise Parker, she really didn't understand her son being biracial, have black in him, even though they that he lives with the adopted white family. So I guess she went to her job asking I think two black coworkers about that she tried to explain to her what the hairstyle was so he can get it again. And obviously, Eric, both of them question like what she's talking about. She doesn't understand what she's talking about. So I guess she showed her coworkers the hairstyle, which is cornrows, and they said okay, I got. And then she asked them for her help. So they said okay, we'll help you. Blah blah blah. So then like she sent to the barbershop, the black barbershop, so they can go ahead and get the cornrows. But during the time that that the series go right along, he got the cornrows. He loved the cornrows. And again, he's always fixated with Allen Iverson and how he does things. So he got his cornrows. Everything was fine until he was training camp. Now this is what's so interesting about this. They basically on training camp, all the white coaches has already discriminated against Colin. All the white coaches, and this is the predominantly white school, by the way, and which is not a surprise. They did that when he was playing baseball. He did that when he was, but more likely he was quarterback of a football team. They always judge his stuff, and they always felt like he was being discriminated against because even though there's the white school and he basically grew up with the adopted white family, they still see him as black, and they already judge him, calling him a thug, calling him this and criminal, this and this and this and this. And so when you have these words, and again, like a lot of people like, well, he lived in a white adopted family and blah 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 blah. Well, even though that were true, but in the series Colin's Black and White, he basically lived black, even though he basically lived with an adopted white family, going to a predominantly like white schools. They still perceive him as black, and the way and then even in sports, like for example, when he was playing quarterback, and he dominated, basically in camps And in preseason, and like in JV, like he was in JV, and when he was in high school, he was playing. He wants to play starting JV as a starting quarterback in his JV high school, and it was between him and this other white quarterback to be the starter. So they challenged him. Okay, so they battle it out. I'm gonna tell you like this, ladies and gentlemen. You know, the white quarterback did pretty well, but not as much, right? So Colin Kaepernick, was dominated all fronts. He completed passes. His arm strength is off the charts, and even though he beat the white kid, he did better than the white kid actually. They still give the white kid the starting quarterback in JV. And sent him as a freshman. Now keep in mind, he was a freshman when he was, and during that time his arm strength is off the charts. And remember, he was a pitcher in baseball as well in school. He was so good in baseball that all major league scouts wanted him. It's true. But he still wanted to play football. I'm telling you, college scouts wanted Colin Kaepernick. His even pro baseball teams want Colin Kaepernick because of his arm, and the head and his school coach, his sports coach, wanted him to focus on playing baseball because that's what he's really good at to them. But he keep telling everybody, no, I want to play football. That's my passion. That's what I wanted to do. And again, all this time, none of these scouts, college scouts, did not give him a chance to, watch him play. Now, during the series, when he's going out, he's been dealing with racism. Let's just keep it real. Even though he's dealing with adopted family, his adopted family give him anything he wants, but no matter if he's driving, he got stopped by. I think he got stopped by a state trooper. Um, and he was had a driver's permit, and the parents was inside the car. So, but still, still they stop him because he quote unquote speeding, and he asked the officer, "What did I do, officer?" And then the officer got belligerent. But even though his white mother and father was inside the vehicle, inside the car, and even they asked him, "Well, what did you do?" And he was like, "Well, he's speeding," and then in the hotel incident as well, when he couldn't even get a apple, a free apple, because they looked at him like he's a thug, he's a criminal. Excuse me. So they looked at him as a criminal or thug. And Colin was trying to tell the world, yeah, I live I live with my adopted mother and father, adopted family, but I experienced racism just like anybody else. And that's what this series is about. And I think what people need to understand is that yes, he's biracial. Yes, he lives, in with his adopted family. Yes, he goes to a predominantly white schools, but during that time, he also experienced racism, even with the adopted mother. I'm gonna get to her in a second, but it's funny that when all his experiences, nobody even talked to him about his childhood. You know that, right? Nobody even talked about his childhood. So he decided to create a series to show him that I experienced racism as much as any black person in this country. In other words, and then here's another thing that I want you to know about the cornrows that he wore. Now, when he played football, and this is what blows my mind with this, when he played quarterback, they felt intimidated because he wore cornrows in the predominantly white schools. Even these racist white coaches don't want him to even go on like summer camps, going on spring training when comes to playing football because he had cornrows. And he was very disappointed because his mother and his father both wanted him to cut his hair. Now listen to this. Now the white mother took him to the barbershop to get his cornrows. Now all of a sudden, because of what the teachers say, what the white men say, um, basically saying, well, we don't want him to wear that cornrows when he does practices. So the mother came back and told Colin, "You got to cut your hair." The fathers agreed with her. You got to cut your hair because these coaches are going to watch you play. And he was so disappointed in that he was like, okay, because they said the rules are rules about their hairstyle. So they cut Colin's hair. Excuse me. They cut Colin's hair, and then all of a sudden, even and like I said before, throughout the series, they still judge Colin Kaepernick because of his race. Even in the hotels, basically, a hotel. He said, well, one time he asked the hotel clerk even questioned him. Do you basically go? Are you a guest? Do you stay here like a black person? And and he said, yes, I stay here. I stay with my I stay with my mother and father, which is their adopted mother and father. And she still grilling him like she grilling a black person. So he felt discriminated against, and she's been stared out like a black person. But Colin had to understand too that during those times, yes, you're biracial, yes, you're adopted by a white family, but you're still gonna get judged. You still gonna they see you as black. So later on, like when you see a black basketball team at the time coming to the hotel, and Colin was excited to see them because he felt that he's part of them. And he because and one of the I think black athletes was told, well, they got basically they get kicked out of the hotel for a similar thing because they're black as well, and they didn't want they didn't want nobody to act kind of crazy or feel some type of way, so they had to act a certain way because they didn't want to get kicked out of it again, and then he explained Colin why. So and then he just give Colin advice that be careful, just act normal, don't let them get to you, blah 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 blah. So what tripped me out on the other episodes was during that time homecoming season going on, and Colin at that time didn't have a date. Now remember, Colin, everybody know who Colin Kaepernick is at his school, and it's a predominantly white school. And and one of his friends one is a white friend, the other is a black friend, but everybody know who Colin Kaepernick was. So because he like I said, he played three sports. He's a three-sport athlete, and his goal was he's like I said, his passion was always football. So he's a baseball athlete. Now this is what blows my mind on this, but not surprising. So the white parents, the white adopted parents, asked Colin, who you taking to your homecoming? Because everybody going to their homecoming. So this white girl that like Colin, he wants her to ask her to the homecoming, right? But instead, he's seeing a black girl. He's seeing this beautiful dark skinned black girl that he liked, and she liked him. But he asked her to the homecoming. And what's so amazing about it is that when he went over there, meet the girl's parents, and they had a barbecue. I think they had some sort of barbecue over there. So Colin, got this pie, which is a sweet potato pie, and Colin already said, "Oh, I love pumpkin pie." And I don't know if it's the daughter's mom asked, "No, it's not a pumpkin pie. It's a sweet potato pie." But and the girl, before she even go out to the homecoming, she want Colin to say, "Listen, we're gonna wear gold. We'll go to the homecoming." And Colin didn't have a problem with that. He said, "Okay, let's wear gold." And you can see the chemistry that Colin and this black girl have, the major chemistry. So they went out, they had a good time, they danced or whatever. But then the white adopted mother feels some type of way, and it called it's really sad, right? Because the mother was like, well, maybe Colin need to go out with a white girl and blah 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 blah. So it's really funny that they want Colin to be what they want him to be, but Colin did not want him to be himself. And remember, all the coach. So I'm just gonna go with the coaches later on, but I'm just gonna continue with the black girl for a second. So, you know, I guess the thing of it is that I guess Colin listened to the mother, or Colin basically, like the black girl, but he want to please the mother at that time. So, in which he did not like to do that because he wanted to be himself. So he was just saying, listen, he's got other sports to do. He's a sports athlete, and the black girl was asking him, what's going on? Why are you having you spend time with me that much? So Colin was like, well, I've been busy, trying to play football, basketball, and things didn't work out. But Colin saw. I think Colin basically saw this girl talking to this boy, and Colin wasn't happy about that. So it's really a funny thing. So it ended up that he took a white girl to the dance because the black girl was like, "Well, you go ahead, because in other words, I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to do me. You go ahead and take any person to the dance." So Colin took the white girl, even though Colin really don't feel comfortable in taking this white girl to the dance, but he really want to take the black girl, but the black girl, I guess she already had a date to the dance, so she took the white girl. But anyway, during that time, all the head coaches, even one coach was trying to pressure Colin and said, "No, this is how you do this, 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 and this." And in varsity, because like I said, he loves football so much, but everybody, even his teachers, administrators, and coaches, they want him to focus more on baseball because all the college scouts wanted him, all the major leaguers wanted him because his arm is off the charts. He can really pitch. But Colin was saying, "Well, wait a minute, y'all want me to be this person, but y'all really do not respect me for being who I want to be, and that's a quarterback." So no scouts, no football scouts or football college scouts did not um, want Colin at the time. And so during the series, think about it, that again they judge him for the color of his skin, but he did not let that get to him. And one of his white friends even said that he was like, don't let that get to you. Just keep doing what you want to do. If you want to play football, keep getting at it. And so then that's what this series is about. And he's telling them, I think on his end, he said, "Listen, yeah, I've been raised by the adopted white parents. Yes, I've been like going to a predominantly white school and everything, but don't get it twisted. I experienced racism as well as you do, and and again, you can watch the series, and this is going to be again. If you don't want to hear my review or trailer or not trailer review or spoiler about this, and if you have Netflix, go ahead and look for Colin's Black and White. This is a series you need to watch. I mean, everybody, you need to watch the series because he's telling you what he's been through as a child, and when like middle school and high school, he's been through a whole lot. So anyway, he went to, and I know a lot of people. He went through every scouts, football scouts from college football. I mean, all the college because he wants to play a quarterback. That's what he wants to do. So he sent tapes. He goes out traveling to talk to coaches and let them know that he wants to play quarterback. He got the skills to do it. I'm telling you, he got the arm to do it. He beat white quarterbacks all the time, still the coach still picked in the white quarterback, and so he faces discrimination all the time with the coaches. If it's not with the cornrows, if it's basically lack of, I guess basically he's still dominated, but like they still judge him because he's black. Let's keep it real. So even though all the coaches want him to play baseball, he said no, I want to play football, and the coaches was disappointed. And not a lot of college football scouts even look at Colin's direction, right? At the end of the series, though, at the end of the series, one school look at his direction. They saw his tape. They think he will be a great quarterback in the school, and that's the University of Nevada. The University of Nevada finally get Colin Kaepernick to play for his school, and at the end, he was excited. He was happy because he's been through disappointments that all college football coaches and scouts did not even look at his direction, and and that's basically the end of the series. But I want each and every one of you guys to remember this, and this is I mean, ever since childhood he faced discrimination. He was upset because he felt like, well, y'all don't they didn't do you like that. They pick him like that. It was the ice cream situation, the perfect example, right? And I didn't tell you about that. But I am going to tell you about this now. The ice cream situation. He wants an ice cream, and the person that gives people ice cream told him, "Well, you already had one, so I'm not going to give it to you." But other white kids get second, third, fourth ice cream, and Colin only got one. So the friend was like, "Wait, what? Oh wait, I already got my seconds." And Colin told the friend, "Well, listen, I asked for the person to get another. Can I get another ice cream?" She said, "No, I only get one." So the white friend said, "Okay, let me go ahead and get me some second, third, and fourth," which he did, and he got. So my point is, ladies and gentlemen, that a lot of people, and even the pro-black community, was like, you know, oh, the reason why Colin Kaepernick took a knee because of his white privilege. He can do whatever you blah 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 blah. But the thing is that, and at first I agree with each and every one of y'all until I saw the Colin Black and White series on Netflix. He broke it down. Even with the parents, they didn't even understand what he goes through as a child growing up. You know, part of him, I mean, he is biracial. He's black, and people see him as black. No, they didn't care if you raised by an adopted white family or adopted white parents. They always see you as black, and they're gonna judge you as black. They couldn't get an apple. They couldn't get this because it's staring like, oh, he's a thug. He gonna steal this, and this. Like the hotel clerk even questioning him about, do you stay here? Are you a guest here? And then the elevator incident that the white guy allowed his white adoptive parents in the elevator, and that's it. That's when Colin came through like, thank you. And then guy got the evil grin, racist look at his face, and and then and then it was like, what's the problem? What's this problem? Colin was like, well, I don't know. He got issues. And the father said, no, it's you, Colin. And so they don't understand how it is to raise a biracial child. And what Colin Kaepernick's experience as a child growing up, even though, like I said, even though he's been raised by a white adopted family, everywhere he goes, he experienced racism because of him being black. They still see him as black at the end of the day. And then Colin explained, he explained the hero that going through the same thing he went through. Um, and it's really a great series. You guys need to check it out. And it opens my eyes. It really opens my eyes because as a basically a biracial person, you know, living as a predominantly white family or adopted family, you experiencing good things in life. You like white privilege, in other words. And during that time, they thought he could experience white privilege, but then his blackness came out when everybody looked, discriminated him against, and all of that. So y'all, let me know what you think about this. I advise you to check it out if you have Netflix. Go ahead and watch Colin's Black and White. It's going to change people's minds. Some of us weren't surprised at all, but some will be surprised because his activism right now, when he took a knee to protest the police brutality, racial injustice, and during that time when he did that, everybody hating on Colin then, but he received a lot of hate ever since he's growing up as a child. So y'all, this is a great series to watch, and I'm telling you, I will definitely watch it again today because that's how good this series is. So y'all let me know what you think. Like, click, subscribe, and remember to click the notification bell for all the news and commentary. With that being said, this is Lions Den signing off. Deuces.